The smoked Euro style lights that we have here today would be an awesome choice for any 2015 and newer Mustang owner who might be looking to get away from the ordinary factory red tail lights and into something that's going to give off a very sleek and sinister appearance. Now, these DOT approved Euros will pack that full LED operation and will still maintain the sequential functionality, all for right around $550. Now, install is going to be a plug and play job here, guys, so figure a pretty soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the old difficulty meter, and I would say an hour at most to complete from start to finish. But as always, hang with me for a bit and I'll walk you through that job later in the video. So the smoked Euro lights that we have here will be for those S550 owners out there who are, again, big fans of that dark smoked appearance, but would prefer to go about things in the proper way with a complete housing swap. Now, sure, you could certainly save some money, just use some vinyl tint to cover your factory taillights, but at that point you still have those red lenses along with the sometimes questionable results that can come from a poor vinyl installation. Now, these lights, on the other hand, are going to deliver that Euro lens, which for those of you who don't know, is a clear lens that Mustangs come with over in parts of Europe. And then basically these lights are then smoked to give you that dark, aggressive look. Now, despite that smoked lens, you are still getting the standard red lighting through the modern and very bright LEDs, and that's why these lights have been given both the DOT and SAE stamp of approval, which does make them legal for use in all 50 states. Now, those red LEDs are going to operate in the same manner as your stock tail lights, so expect the standard operation there with your running lights, your brake lights, and again, you are still maintaining that sequential functionality as well for both your turn signals and hazards. Now, those LEDs are located behind the smoked polycarbonate lenses and nestled into the ABS plastic housing here that has been designed to be a complete and direct swap with your factory taillights. So there's no cutting, no modification needed to get these installed. Now, keep in mind these have been designed to work with all 2015 and newer Mustangs. So even if you have a 2018 and newer car with the more angular taillights, and maybe you prefer the more traditional tri-bars found on the earlier S550s, well, these will still work on your car. I do also want to mention that if you really dig the clear Euro look, but maybe aren't a huge fan of the smoke lenses, well, you can grab the more traditional clear Euros here at AM for roughly the same price as the smoked options. Now, on that same topic, guys, feel free to check out the very positive reviews on both the smoked and non-smoked options, which may help make your buying decision a much easier process. But now we want to segue into the installation process. And again, very simple job here. Direct swap, plug and play job, 1 out of 3 wrenches. But to give you a better idea of how things will go down, check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown right now. Tools used for this installation include a panel removal tool, 3/8 ratchet, long extension, 10mm socket, 13mm socket, T20 Torx bit, and a T40 Torx bit. All right, guys, getting started with our taillight install here today. It's a very straightforward job, a very easy job, but first things first, obviously you want to pop that trunk because we need to gain access to the backside panel here, namely this plastic piece that is held into place thanks to these clips. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew those first. All right, just simply unscrew this one and grab the bottom one as well. There's 2 more on the opposite side. We're gonna unscrew those next. All right, with all 4 of these removed, we can now pop off this plastic panel. So this panel is held on with some of those clips that are located behind the panel itself. So you just want to work your way around slowly, releasing the clips as you go. Also have to lift up on your trunk panel. Now, our next step will really depend on whether or not your car is equipped with a factory subwoofer. In our case, it is, so therefore we do have to remove that first in order to gain access to our third and final nut holding our taillight in place. Removing the subwoofer is really not that hard. We're gonna get started with a T20 Torx bit to remove the 3 bottom screws, which does secure the cover plate to the bottom of the subwoofer. With those 3 screws removed, we can remove the bottom panel, and that's gonna unveil our 13mm bolts, which we'll remove next. 13mm sockets, remove these next. And last but not least, we have this T40 Torx screw or bolt right there. We'll remove that, and we can swing the subwoofer out of the way. With all of our bolts removed, we can now slide the subwoofer out of the way, just enough to gain access to our 10mm screws back there. We can start off by these 2 10mm nuts here first, and then we'll go back in there further to get the third and final. Now, I found it easier to remove this panel clip here, securing the felt carpet in place. That'll allow your carpet to kind of swing out of the way more to gain access to that third and final 10mm nut. Go. At that point, you can push the carpet kind of out of the way. All right, guys, this third and final 10mm nut is tucked way back in there, so obviously a little difficult to see, but it's right back in this general direction. We're gonna get our socket on that and remove that last. Now that you have your 3 10mm nuts off, the taillight's just about ready to come out. But before we yank that out, there is a harness back there, a plug that you will need to unplug first or unclip, and then we can go ahead and slide everything out in one piece. You can see right here, thumb on the clip, pull up. Now the taillight should officially be ready to come on out. To work this thing off, I kind of shake it a little bit, give it a little shimmy, and it helps it pop off the studs. And at this point, you have this rubber grommet here. Go ahead and unseat that from the body and remove the taillight. Now we're going to install our new taillight basically in reverse order. Starting with the passenger side here, we're going to kind of fish in our harness and then make sure we seat our rubber grommet in that opening. Just kind of push it and you'll feel it seat in place. Make sure no water gets inside the trunk of your ride. With that grommet seated, now we can go ahead and slide the taillight into place. Now we can go ahead and plug in our new harness to our factory harness behind the trunk. Again, if you don't have a subwoofer, this big metal bracket won't be in your way. It'll be a lot easier for you. So we're going to start with that 10mm nut that's way back in there first. Again, really not too bad in person, but for you guys to see, it's a little difficult. Just get it seated, spin it onto place. Grab your socket, snug it up. Now we can install these 2 10mm nuts here. Now at this point, your taillight is officially installed. It's never a bad idea to just go ahead and test operation first before we start buttoning up our subwoofer. That way, if the clip isn't fully seated, you don't have to yank this thing back out. So once you test everything, you're good to go. Now we can reinstall the subwoofer, starting with our carpet first. With the carpet in place, now we can kind of reposition our factory sub. Slide it back. I'll get these two 13mm bolts finger tight first, just to kind of hold it in place. And grab our T40 torque screw, insert that next. All right, with everything started, now we can go ahead and tighten everything down with our socket. And then our T40 here. All right, our subwoofer is officially reinstalled, but now we have to do this bottom panel to cover up those 13mm bolts and reinstall the 3 T20 torque screws now. Go ahead and snug up these 3 screws. Now, if you have a 2018 or newer Mustang with the subwoofer, you will not have to do this part because the bolts are exposed from the factory, but the 15 through 17 cars do have this plastic panel in place. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have the smoked Euro light next to our factory tail light. Full disclosure, these have been smoked with a vinyl tint kit. That's how the car came to us. But even with that being said, the differences couldn't be any more noticeable, right? The stock light is red. Even with that tint kit installed, it just isn't really the polished look you come to expect out of something like this. Now, this is the Euro aspect, so you're getting rid of the red reflectors in your tri-bars, but even still, the smoke job is far better than just a budget vinyl kit, as you can see over here. And the ultimate result, or the final result, is gonna just look that much better once they're finally installed on the car. Speaking of which, we're gonna repeat this process here for the driver's side taillight, get that in place, and then we'll show you how to button up the rest of your trunk. All right, as you can see, we got the driver's side knocked out here. So at this point, we're just gonna put the trunk plastic back together, and that's gonna complete our install. So let's show you how to do that next. So now we're gonna get our plastic in place. Keep in mind you have some clips under here that do need to seat into the actual chassis. And of course, we have 4 holes on either side here that we wanna make sure we get into the studs. With the plastic in place, now we can secure it with our 4 retainers. Just go ahead and tighten them up on either side. And our final 2. All right, with that plastic reinstalled, that's gonna complete our installation. Hey, we hope you enjoyed this review and install of the smoked Euro taillights, available for your 2015 and newer Mustang at home. And keep in mind, for more cool products and videos like this, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.